Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by Drivotex, make your engine last longer.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Hanging out here at the Motorhead RV, and my friend William is here from Latch Lux. You know, William, we go camping to get out to the elements, and you and your buddies found that getting out in the elements kind of creates some problems. What did you guys discover?
We discovered that it's hard to find the latch at night in the dark, especially on the, we'll say, the driver's side of the RV, where there's particularly no lighting usually. And
if you're camping the right way, you're out in the middle of nowhere, so there is no light to be found.
Correct.
So some solutions, obviously you carry a flashlight, and then you end up fumbling around, and you're trying to carry your gear and stuff like that,
Exactly.
and that's no good. And you have the lights once you get inside the hatches underneath, but to get to it is a problem, and you've solved that. How'd you do it?
We designed a latch bezel, LED latch bezel, that installs behind the actual cargo door latch. This way it provides illumination for the latch itself and the keyhole and the ground around it.
So it's essentially a footlight that you'd have around the vehicle. How many lumens are we talking? How bright are these things?
We're about 60 plus lumens per unit.
So how much power is that going to draw? Folks might be worried about, you know, the draw on their battery or on their system.
It draws about 0.06 amps per unit.
So really nothing to worry about.
Pretty much nothing at all.
Excellent. So tell me how it works. Show it to me.
Well, basically you remove your existing RV latch that is on your cargo door, and you install our LED bezel behind the latch, and then reinstall the latch onto the cargo door. Now the light is mechanically attached to the vehicle, so the potential for it falling off is almost zero compared to a LED light strip.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that'll be out in the elements too, and if it's stuck to the vehicle, it's coming off.
Yes, and we made it out of high-grade ABS automotive plastic.
Okay, so that's going to last forever.
It's going to last forever.
Very cool. Different models. There's all kinds of RVs out there. Do you have one that's going to fit my RV?
Each individual bezel is designed for a particular style of latch. Currently we have two latches, one made by Global and one made by Trimark. These are two rather common latches on RVs. We are adding more in the future, but currently we're on these two.
But with just those two, you're covering thousands of
Yes.
RVs that are out
Yes.
there. And there are more and more RVs rolling out all the time. A lot of folks get squeamish when it comes to doing electrical stuff on their vehicle, but how complicated is this whole process?
It's quite simple. It's a 2-wire 12-volt installation. You can wire it to a switch, or you can wire it to the cargo lights that are already inside your RV box.
And a remote option as well?
We do offer a remote option with a remote relay that has a key fob, so you can turn it off and on if you leave the RV and come back.
Let's talk about the physical wiring. What are the steps to install it on the RV?
First, you remove your latch and install our bezel, and then you run the wire down the door inside some wire loom to make it clean and neat installation. You can use some wire clips to clip it to the door to keep it from flopping around. Then run it up to the light is the easiest way to do it, and tag into the cargo light.
We know it's made out of durable materials, but how do we know the quality's there through every unit that we're going to buy?
Each unit is made proudly in America.
Made in the USA is important to me, and I know it's important to you as well. If you want the Latch Lux for your RV and you want to light up your campsite at night, check them out at latchlux.com. Very, very cool idea. Driving a car is such a sensory experience. In fact, that's what we love about it, but your senses can also tip you off to some problems underneath the hood, Tom.
Yep, yeah, if you hear a tapping or ticking sound when you first start your car, you might think it's the valve train. Older engines with flat tappets, they tick or tap until the oil warmed up, circulated, and then things would quiet down. On a newer engine built in the last 30 years that has roller lifters like this, you're less likely to hear that tapping, and if you hear noise from the valve train, it could be the roller's out of whack and it's actually the bracket hitting the camshaft, so you're going to have to replace the lifters and probably the camshaft also. And that problem will continue after the engine's hot. It won't go away. So it's when you first start the car and it goes away, and another possibility, and a much less expensive possibility usually, is one of the exhaust or multiple exhaust manifold bolts or studs have snapped off. These are connecting dissimilar metals. The exhaust manifold might be cast iron and the head might be aluminum. A lot of them snap. So you can just unbolt those and fix your problem, put new ones in. And there's even solutions if the exhaust manifold is hard to access. For some real popular engines that frequently have broken exhaust manifold studs, there's exhaust manifold, a cylinder head, repair clamps. Well, what these do, you don't have to take out the broken off stud that you can't access. They use existing holes that are milled in the the head or the block for whatever reason to firmly connect the exhaust manifold to the head and eliminate the noise.
Well, it's a lot simpler fix, and it can be a lot less expensive, like you said. Once you find out what your problem is and you've diagnosed it, rockauto.com has all the parts your car will ever need. You can surely find your fix there. We are out of time for this episode of Motorhead Garage, but do not fear, because we're going to do it once again next week. Until then, you can check us out on our Facebook page, and if you have a product you want to see on the show, email Jeff at masterstv.com. He'll get you here to our Borla studios. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so long. See you next time.